Guys, welcome to the video. We're doing this a little bit differently. I'm going to be analyzing my one-on-one client's match. He plays winger in football. So in this video, you're going to see some of the analysis, some of the things he did well, some of the things that need to be improved when playing this position, so you can apply the advice I'm giving him to your own game. One other thing, guys, is if you see something I missed or something else you think would help Oscar, put it in the comments. Only constructive criticism, please. Any kind of just bashing or anything that's just completely negative will be removed, but any constructive criticism would be greatly appreciated so that you can improve even more. So let's get into it. When I'm busy doing totally legitimate things, I rely on OneFootball to give me all the news stories, fixtures, results, and more from the world of football. Download it for free today. Okay, so for this first play, we actually analyze it in a little more depth later. So I'm not going to analyze it too much here, but you make a good little checked run, meaning you make it look like you're going to run in behind, then you check back for the ball. You don't get it this time, but we will break this down later in the analysis. So here we're also not going to break it down too much because you do the right thing and it's pretty obvious, but you make that darting run towards the near post. Keep making that run, especially for your wingers, since we're going to be releasing this video. Keep making that out to in run, trying to get ahead of the defender, and if the ball is better here, it looks like you're going to get goal side of that guy. In fact, you are. You'll have a tap in if that ball gets through. So keep making that run. So here, another good little checked run. See how you get the defender off you. It's just a bad pass and goes out of bounds. Again, we're going to analyze one of these a little later, so I'm not going to talk about it too much here. All right, so this is the first clip we're going to analyze. We're going to take a look at a few things. So I think your starting position here isn't great because if you look at this guy who's coming in on you, I'll highlight you. I think you should be a little further back so you don't have to come to a stop like you're going to see happen here. And let that guy close you down. Now, that being said, you take a good touch, and then your first option is to pass here. But I want you to be aware of this second option where your teammates made that run down where you would normally be, and you could clip him in behind. And I think it's just you weren't looking. You didn't get a chance to look up at that. You can tell me if I'm wrong there. But that's a good option because you're countering at this time, and if you play a good, just even half-decent clipped ball over the top there, he's going to be in. But the option you do choose, the simple pass, is not a bad one. But just notice if we pause it here, that the momentum's kind of gone. You know, it's a little late to counter now, where if you play that ball quickly, it's a goal-scoring opportunity probably. Whereas because the play is slowed down, the counter isn't on anymore. So, during those situations, see if the best option is to play that quick ball or, to the teammate who can get in behind, because you need to act quickly in these situations for it to end up being a goal-scoring opportunity. And I think in here, if you play a good ball over the top there, that's exactly what would happen. Okay, so this one I just want to highlight your movement. So you see initially Oscar makes the move into the middle where that space is, but it's not this run I want to talk about. It's what happens next. As you can see in a second, the ball's going to be recycled out wide. And then what I like is you immediately spin and see that there's space available here, make the run, and then you're going to get a good pass with the ball. Keep doing that. And for people watching, don't give up if you don't get the ball the first time. Keep looking for that space you can exploit. You get the ball. Now here, I think if this first touch is a little heavier, you can get away from this guy, get in front of him, and I think that's your best option here. So it's just an execution thing, but you do win a corner in the end. But I think option two is if you can cut the ball back and put in a good cross towards that back post, that would also be incredibly dangerous, especially with your crossing ability. But with this play, you actually did so many right things. There's not much criticism. It's just kind of these little nuanced, subtle things you could also do. I think, again, taking that little heavier touch lets you get past that first defender. You get your body in between him and the ball, which allows you to get the cross in. And I think the other option of cutting it back is not the better option. I think the best option is that heavier touch getting you into the box. But just in these situations, remember, you have the option to fool the defender by cutting it back, and especially on your right foot, whipping that ball towards the back post, and you do have a man making that run. You have a player coming in at the back post, so that's another dangerous option that is available to you. So I think this is your best play of the game, and I'm just going to let it play out and then kind of go over it. There's you with on the wing playing the ball, and we'll just let this play out. And I think you play a huge part in this goal. I think it doesn't happen without you. And so I'm going to show a few things I love about this. The first thing I love is, you're in pretty tight space. You make yourself available out wide. And the defender backs off you a little bit, but I love your awareness to know that you have a teammate overlapping you right now. And so this next touch you take is very clever. You go inside to make it look like you're going to cut into the middle and ignore the run. Then you fake and cut the ball back and then play it perfectly down the wing. Now this is amazing wing play, man. You took out 2 or 3 of the opposition defenders with that simple 1 to 2 second play that you made. And it's beautiful. You know, you drew the defenders to you, made it look like you were going to do something else, and then perfectly played the ball down the wing with the guy timing his run well as well. And then look how much space your player has because of that play you made. He gets to measure his cross, which allows him to put in a not rushed cross, a good cross, and it ends up in a goal. You know, that is you did everything in my eyes flawlessly in this play. You know, the little disguise, like you were going to go in the middle, the little cut back, and then the little pass is all timed perfectly, man. You know, keep doing stuff like that. And for you wingers, you know, another good kind of example of link-up play with your left or right back if you're playing in this position, and being able to do it in this way where you give your left or right back that much space to get in a cross because you're able to take the other players out of the game in this manner. That's like the perfect scenario. So good job on this play, man. So this one's pretty simple. I just want to make you aware of something, and it's you don't look over your shoulder, it appears, and you have plenty of space to go forward. So in these situations, I would like to see you opening up your body and trying to go forward, especially since you have some men with you. The play you made is safe, and there's nothing wrong with it, and that's sometimes what you need to do. But I think the whole play, I saw you just looking back the whole time, and you didn't check over your shoulder. I may be wrong about this, but we see some more examples of this later in the analysis. And so I would like you to make sure you know what's going on around you, because if you see what's going on, you could easily turn with the inside of your left there, go forward, or at least give yourself more option. Okay, so I remember this play, you actually did exactly that, and then you just take a poor touch, which takes you into the player. Now the obvious thing here to do is play your center mid. He's wide open, so you should be able to turn. Notice that your options going forward, and I should have highlighted this, but if you take a look at what you have available forward, there isn't much. There might be a ball to your striker, but that's a little hard to do. And even if you get past his first man, although which could work, you have another man right there. So the better option here is just to play your center mid, who can open up his body, potentially switch it, or just retain possession. So this is an example where you actually did try and go forward, where it may not have been the best time to do it. So just keep that in mind, and so we'll let this play out to see what happens. You just take a bad touch, and I want to highlight something else here, and it's right here. So the man who took the ball off you, you're right next to each other here, but you actually give up, and this is something that's uncharacteristic for you, so it's just a reminder, if you lose the ball, do everything you can to win it back. And if we keep this play going, he goes all the way down, and I think maybe wins a throw-in or corner. I'm not exactly sure. But just a reminder, especially to people watching, is you don't give up after you lose the ball. You kind of just stop right here, and it is the man that you kind of let go that makes it all the way to the corner flag and potentially gets a cross in, potentially makes something happen. So just keep that in mind. Usually you're perfect with this. Usually your work rate is amazing. So just a slight lapse in concentration there, just to be aware of. But otherwise, I know you're really good at this kind of situation. Not going to spend too much time on this one, except keep making these runs. You almost get in behind. I like that you're continually looking and you're being opportunistic with that kind of thing. And, if it's a better ball, your player keeps his balance and is able to dink it over the top or put it through the defenders, you're in on goal. So just keep making those kind of runs, because it only takes one getting through and you making the good run for you to score. So keep that up. Okay, so for this one, I don't think you make a mistake. You do a good job of intercepting the ball. I think your striker needs to have better movement here. As soon as he recognizes that you're going to win the ball, he needs to shift away from his mark, and he'll be in on goal. But you can see he just kind of stays there and moves too late, and you try and find him. And I like that you're trying to play quickly there, because when you're losing the ball or they're giving the ball away up there, they're going to quickly want to try and win it back. It's in a dangerous position, and you have a very small window of time to take advantage. And so your first instinct is, I got to play my striker, which is the right instinct. I just think he wasn't paying attention, or he just shut off, where he should be able to make that little piece of movement even in an opportunistic way, and for you strikers, this is another way to think about this, is be opportunistic. If you think there's even a slight chance that your player is going to win the ball there, start making your run, start making that movement to separate yourself and get yourself open, because if you do, you're in and it's a goal. So I think as far as your part of this is concerned, I think you made the right move. I think it's just your striker needs to have just a little better awareness right there to make that movement off the center back, give himself enough space for you to play that ball through to him, and then he's in on goal. But keep doing this. Keep looking to exploit the opposition quickly, especially when a mistake like this is made. Okay, so this is another play where I want to talk about your body position. So I can kind of see you moving forward, but look how close you are to this defender. He's read your run. I would like to see you do that little looping run you've done where you check and you cut back. And the reason for it is it allows you to have a better body position and allows you to do a lot more. It saves time. And I think the better pass here is to your right back. Although, that being said, I don't know where your winger is. So this ball you're playing is not a bad ball. It's hard to see exactly what happens. And in the end, it's cleared out for a throw-in for your team. So I'd say the one thing to focus on more is your run here. Because you should recognize that, you're not going to get in behind here. And I really think, making that little darting run and then cutting back would be the right option. That way your body is also in a good position when you receive the ball, open to the field. You don't have to cut back and slow your momentum down and kind of come back to the ball. You can make sure you're already set. And then it just makes it easier for you to take your next option. So this is a very small thing to implement. But I think in this position, just the way your body is and how close you are to the defender, you need to give yourself a little more separation there. And again, doing that little check where you make it look like you're going to dart in that space and then cut back is going to do exactly that. You're going to be in a ton of space and have a lot more to work with when you do get the ball. So there's not much to say about this one. Good play. You get the ball quickly and pass it into the middle. Not much more you can do there. You need to play quick. You're being closed down. And it's good heads-up play by you here. Okay, so a few things to break down with this play. First, I think this touch is really good. It creates separation from this guy who's coming in and takes you away from him, but also recognize what's going to happen from there. These defenders are going to collapse and your player is going to get out of that space. And that's exactly what happens. And then if we look at it right here, it's very telegraphed the move you're going to make, and I think you should be playing your player through the middle there. Just notice something about this play. Notice the defender, notice his body position. Even before you've made the move, he knows exactly what you're going to do, which means what you're doing is very, very predictable. So I think the better option here, especially as two defenders are collapsing on you there, is to play that little ball through the middle, and then you can make a run off of him. And actually, if it gets through to him, he can run at the last defender, you can make an overlapping run. There's a lot of different things that can happen if you play that ball. But it's very telegraphed. Remember what I told you, when you beat a man, like you beat this first man, a lot of teams are going to collapse on you if there are players around you, which is what happens. And it's good because two players are drawn to you, meaning there's going to be a guy open, and that is your striker. He's open right there. Because two guys are drawn to you, you now have the opportunity to put one of your teammates in plenty of space or in a dangerous position. And that's exactly the opportunity. So here, it's just kind of having the calmness of mind to recognize that in that situation, cutting inside is not only taking you away from goal where the pass to your teammate would take him towards it, but also noticing it's very telegraphed. Okay, so that's just something to be aware of. We actually, in some of your other footage, we've noticed this happening a few other times. So in those situations, even a little feint, or a little step over and then passing it to your teammate would work, because that would make the defender kind of step out in that direction, creating more space for the pass. So just be aware of that. It was very telegraphed and easy to read, and your teammate was wide open for a nice little little dink ball to him there. So just a few things to be aware of. So this play, you do well to retain possession, and it's a good option. So option one is play it back to your teammate like you do. But I want to make you aware of the other option. Look at all that space that's in there and how far off this defender is from you. He's at least, I would say, 8 feet away from you. And so I think the second option here is you could easily open up your body and start running at that guy, to get past him, knocking it down the wing and beating him with pace. And again, it's just an awareness thing, because I think what happens is the ball, you don't expect the ball to come to you, so you don't know what's around you. You might think that this guy is right up on you, the right back. So it's an awareness thing. Always, even if you don't think you're going to get the ball, always knowing what's around you. It's what the best players do. It's the players with the best awareness. Even when they don't think they're going to get the ball, they still make it a habit to know what's around them, to be always looking. Because sometimes the ball will come through to you unexpectedly, and then you would know that, wow, I can turn because this guy is at least 8 feet off of me. Meaning I can turn and possibly run at him and beat him, right? So just be aware of those little moments where if you are aware the space is there, it opens up more possibilities. It puts your team on the attack. Again, the option you chose is not a bad one, and in fact, it was a good play on your part to keep the ball in play. And it was very good quick feet on your part to actually do that. But just be aware of these other options, which are, in my eyes, more dangerous, in a sense of more dangerous from an attacking standpoint for the other team, meaning you can do more damage. So, and especially with your skill set and your speed, you could easily have turned, taken on their right back and gone down the wing and then potentially put in a dangerous cross. And we want to get you into those situations that play to your strengths as much as possible. And one-on-one situations and crossing, for me, are two of the situations you're really, really good at. Okay guys, so that's the end of part 1 of how to play winger in football by now, analyzing Oscar's game. There's going to be a part 2. The only reason I've broken it up into 2 parts is because it was very, very long. So we'll be releasing part 2 in a couple of days. Make sure you tune in for that. Again, leave all your comments down for Oscar based on what you've seen so far, that you think he did well, you think he can improve, some things I may have missed, maybe you want to emphasize something I said. Some constructive feedback and constructive advice is always welcome, just to help Oscar be more aware of things. Thanks guys for tuning in. Again, we're going to have the other video out in a couple of days. Let me know if you like the new program I'm using. I'm obviously new to it. I'm going to get better at using it, which will allow me to do even more stuff. But let me know if you like videos where I'm using this program. I really like it, so I'm going to try and do more videos with it. Again, check out the other 2 videos on the screen. Get my free ebook, Game Changer, if you haven't already. Also, check out Oscar on social media. It will be in the description. Thanks again, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.